Hey guys, welcome back to the layout. So I wanted to show you guys what I've been working on. So it's been a little while since the last update, probably a year or something like that. But I've been slowly progressing through things. I haven't been spending as much time down here as I'd like. Where it's my busy season for work, so we're kind of just hanging out, doing that stuff, and then I really don't have much time to come down here and do anything. And I also really don't have that much to do down here besides run the trains. So, I run the trains, but I really don't do much of anything else. Weathering kind of took a back burner because we kind of get burnt out after doing it for a little while. So I've been kind of just doing some little like updates to scenes and projects and such, and some locomotive projects and kind of doing that stuff. So the first thing I want to show you here now, excuse the shakiness because the camera's on a tripod, so I'm trying to zoom in a little bit here and you guys can get an idea. Let me see if I can kind of move it over here. So you guys can see this newer section right here to the bridge. So what I noticed in photos I was modeling, in St. Johnsbury, one of the things I did notice was a crane in the background. So after looking at further photos, I realized that the bridge was under construction at the time. Now, they didn't do what I necessarily did, but I wanted to kind of represent it at the time. So what I thought of, I had this leftover bridge piece from my previous section of the layout. I can open that up a little bit more for you guys. So I had this leftover piece to the bridge. I'll kind of get a pointer here. So this whole girder deck section, I put rebar and like them pouring cement and stuff. That whole thing was left over from the previous layout. I had it for basically I could take the Rick's products bridge, actually take it out and then put this piece in, and it would essentially show a bridge under construction. So what I decided to do, I bought another abutment. I already had one, so I built it. Bought the other one, put it over here, and then I just put this piece on top of it as if they're building a new bridge next to the old bridge. So it was kind of neat to just think of, come up with the idea, and that's what I ended up doing. The next thing I did was I took out my crane that I got, I think I've mentioned it before in the lab. I got this for 16 bucks on eBay. It takes a while to come here, but I think it's from China or something. But cool crane. It looks great for $16. Fully functional too. You can like play around with it if you wanted to. And I just put it in there. So I think the scene came out great. And if you notice in the back here too, all the cars, no matter what size, like scoot right by it are like 10 feet of clearance. So, it was 10 scale feet of clearance between the crane and the cars. So it worked out awesome. And it captures the whole feel. So you guys can see, I can like wiggle this thing in between here, between the cars in there. So there's really no interference with switching. So that was another great thing. And we'll kind of scoot over here to the Newport section of the layout. And I know I've mentioned this before, but this is where we're at with the river. Now, realistic water from Woodland Scenics is just expensive right now, so trying to get more and more of it. I'm trying to do it in stages. So I need probably about a bottle or two more till I feel like I'm going to be pretty happy with it. And it's really just because there's still some little gapping in between the abutments here. But, realistically, this was a lot deeper. So one of the things I probably should have done is just cut the foam down a little less. But I think it turned out great. It looks awesome. It captures the feel of Newport. So I'm pleased with it. I would like it a little better, but I think it really does kind of get the essence of downtown Newport. The next thing, moving over here, you guys will probably see this has kind of got all redone. So what I did was I added a car or rip track with the turntable here. So I got this other building. These are from, it's online. I'm not sure exactly. If you guys really are interested, leave a comment below. I can point you in the direction of the building. But they're super nice kits. There's like 50 bucks for 2 or 3 buildings, and they're really easy to put together. And I thought that they really made it pop. So I put a rip track in. I put the building here, all the equipment for the car repair. I put the planking down so they could put the jack pads to lift the trucks up or anything like that. And all it would do now is we just have the engines push them across the turntable, put the car in place to get repaired. Right now I have maintenance away equipment on it. I use the maintenance away equipment, just so you guys are aware. What I do is, this is something for operations if you guys are struggling or you want to change up something. You can buy these types of equipment. I'm not sure. I think it's Phantom Model Works makes them. Very cheap. It's like $15. You got to paint and assemble it yourself. But I mean, to put a coat of yellow spray paint on, a little detail, some washes. That's all I did. This is yellow spray paint, some highlighting paint, and then just oil and dirt and grime. That's it. And these things look fantastic. So we got a ballast spreader, a tamper, and then just a maintenance away crane for normal repairs. So these guys I can put on the tracks and place that track out of service. And to me, it makes it harder because we don't have that extra track to work around. We got to use either more manpower or X, Y, and Z, and make it so much more fun. That's the idea of open bottom railroading, is just having fun. Taking circumstances that might happen in a real railroad and putting it into model form is kind of the joy of the hobby. So if we come over here, I got the tracks for where the roundhouse would be. So this, obviously, the roundhouse, I don't want to model it because it just push through it into the aisleway and someone's going to knock it and break it. So I just decided to represent it by putting the stall tracks. The turntable, I did put joiners in here. So this way the engine can roll across the turntable and then just push the car over there. I don't really need to turn or anything, so I figured let me do that. The turntable house, I did paint. I put wood over it, and then I punched some holes in it, kids screwing around or whatever. So I decided to kind of bring that 1980s feel of CP rail. And you can see the other thing I did was, since we're modeling the 81, 82, getting ready for 83 takeover of Guilford, you can see the hint at some Guilford power kind of looming in. So BM, D&H, maybe some Main Central stuff floating around. And I put a bunch of trucks and other detail parts I had here for CP shops. Maybe they're changing stuff out, fixing some C&O power, whatever it may be. Moving down, I updated the sound files on the RS-18U. Sent that out to Bradley DCC. Did a stellar job on it, so that's all updated now. Sounds just like an RS-18U. I think I have one of these guys. Yep, I can start it up for you guys. So sounds just like it. And here's the bell, horn. So sounds awesome. Super pleased with it. Workhorse to this layout. I'm waiting for the other ones from Rapido to get released. So till then, I just have the one, but looks awesome. Sounds awesome. So the other thing I got, I'm not sure if I showed you guys in the last update. I was able to find two C424s, 4246. This engine is in the Pac-Man 8-inch stripe scheme, and then this engine 4247 is in the candy stripe. So the Pac-Man at the time is the predominant scheme. You guys can see, I'll zoom in on this. Super detailed it, CN style pilots, MU cables, ditch lights, the MU cables in the front, the actual 8-inch 8-plug pin. We cut the window, put the engineer in. I got brake chains and stuff on the other side mounted bell. I couldn't find the actual C424 bell. I know they made them, I just couldn't find them at the time, so I just decided to put my own version of it in. And I will show you guys the 4247. So you can see the candy stripe. This one is beaten. It would probably be on its last legs being in this scheme, so I decided to really kind of go with some heavy weathering. You can see like the battery boxes. We got some acid, some rust, a bunch of primer patches through with some rust showing. Same on the doors, maybe a local locomotive fire. And you can see all the chain detail for the piping, speed recorders, or the brake chains. So it came out good. I'm really pleased with it, and really represents the Lyndonville sub in a good way. Then last but not least here, with car stuff, I was able to secure the North Stratford Railroad 40-foot box cars. So I got those for Christmas. Then I also was able to get a 3-pack of LPG tank cars, so I secured those as well. Those have been my two biggest acquisition-wise that I've gotten. The other thing I did, now this does not work on my layout, so You won't see it really running on any trains, but you can see the auto rack car. I've seen videos of them going through Newport, or pictures I should say. So something that did go through detour trains, or just, you know, maybe 1 or 2 cars every 6 months or so for car dealerships in the area. But I wanted to kind of represent it, at least switching in Newport, so it'll stay in Newport. It won't go out on the system because it's too big for my curves. I have one really sharp, like 18-20 inch curve that just won't do it around the trains. So it sucks in a way because I love auto rack cars, especially the open ones in that area. And it's a cheap AccuRail auto carrier, but it looks awesome. So I loaded it up with Chevy products, and it's out and about in the Newport yard at least. So maybe that'll be a car that has a bad wheel set or something, so it'll stay in the yard for a while. The other thing I did was I was able to get a tie pile going over here. So I'll show you guys. Put these out of the way. Now I still have to work on securing it into the grass so you guys can kind of see. I'll zoom in back here. So I made one massive tie pile in the back there. Sorry for the motion. So you can see back there, all the ties on top are loose. So if I need them for other things in the layout, I can just take them off the top pile. But you know, I still have plenty left. It's basically a whole bag of railroad ties. So just playing around with that. Zoom out here. We're moving along. We got the bridge in over here. Now I had a bad issue this past winter. I think it was November. So I had, you know, now I live in New Jersey, so humidity and everything else is kind of a weird factor down here, especially in your basement. So that's a problem already. Now how I had cut this track in is this side I left with no expansion joints. The other side I left with expansion joints. Well, there was too much pressure on this side. The whole entire track bowed itself up, so I had to replace it. I put a new bridge in, actually. This is the old bridge I threw out. This one is actually from AccuRail, I think. It's like a bridge deck section. It ended up fitting just well. I just cut like one tie out here and there, fit it in, added a little walkway, and it was awesome. So it's in there loosely. Now I can take it out if I need to, or take the track out or anything. But it was just a nice piece to add. I also had to replace the track over here. I was experiencing crazy issues with locomotives. That ended up being a short in the joiner over here. So I took that out, I replaced it, so I weathered it down, and it looks pretty good. But yeah, that's really it, guys. So the last thing I'm working on is going to be this right here, the Lamoille Valley Roundhouse. You can see this one's falling apart. I did this like probably 10, 15 years ago now, and it is just beaten to hell. So I'm going to redo it, do a nice new Lamoille Valley Roundhouse. You remember the last time I tried doing one, I was like mega huge, so I could fit all the engines inside and hide them. Well, it didn't work out, so I have thought about, I'll come back for a second. I have thought about expanding it into this aisleway here a little bit, like curve it around, but I don't think it'll really fit, so I'm not going to bother with it. You can see this aisleway right here to begin with is very tight. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for this update. I'll keep you posted, and any comments, questions, or anything, please leave them below. See you next time.